everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we are looking at the Dior, what is the name of it? Bronze Sepia. This is shade 499. There's a blush that's come out with this that I'll be honest with you, I'm a little confused about because the shade number, let me just pull it up really fast so I can give you the right information. I'll give you the right information and it still could be wrong because it's Dior. The number is 468. And if I can put the picture up, I will. It's got the Christian Dior like stripe through the middle, like the lipstick that I showed you in the Brain is Gone, Iconic Muse, and the Mitza palette. So it looks like that, and its shade is 468. But the thing is, 468 already exists. It was in the, I think, the Birds of a Feather. I'm not exactly sure what collection it was, but anyway, it was 468 Nude Glide. But the shades look different. Like Nude Glide is like it is a pink, but it looks more like peach. And this new shade looks pink. So, but the number is the same. It is 468, unless they've got the number wrong, which is, again, entirely possible. So I don't want to lead anyone astray one way or another. I don't have the blush, but when I have the blush, I will talk about it. And if it is indeed the same shade, I'll let you know so you don't buy it thinking it's new. But again, I don't know. I'm sorry I don't know, but that is Dior. Everything on my face will be in the description box. I did a video, and in fact, I'm in the process of doing another video on this foundation. This is the Guerlain Kiss Kiss lipstick in 325, and everything else, like I said, will be down below. Okay, so this is the Bronze Sepia. Now, I will tell you, I really love this color story. I think it's very beautiful. I also think it's been done about like 9 million times. It's similar to Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes. It's probably similar to, I can't even, say how many Dior palettes it's close to, and probably many others that I own. It's a neutral palette. I think it leans a little bit warm. I'm going to start swatching it now. But I would tell you, I really like it. Like, I like the way it looks. That's not a shock. I love a good neutral palette. So the chances that you have these colors, they're pretty good. I mean, that to me looks like a coppery bronze. Maybe not so much coppery. It's got a little less pink, a little more orange. That's a beautiful topper, but it definitely has that kind of champagne vibe. This brown is a matte, and it's not their usual brown. And what I mean by their usual brown is, if you have all the Dior quints like I do over the last 3 years, you'll notice there's a brown in there that I swear is in like every other palette. It's a deep brown that has like a coolness to it. This is very different. This is definitely like a copper brown. So I will say that, like, there is a difference in this one in the sense that it is a warmer tone. This one, this is a really pretty shade. That has a little bit more coolness in it. And then the middle shade, which tends to pull all of these things together. I'm not sure exactly when the camera cut out on me, but if you use this shade, which is the matte, if you use a lot of this, this has a little bit more red in it, a pinker undertone, a redder undertone. So if you use a lot of that, you're going to get a redder look. So depending on how you want to go, these are definitely warm tones in general, but this one I think would make it go a little bit cooler. So it depended on how you wanted to use it. You could make it look a little bit cooler, but I do think overall it's a warm palette. They're also very pigmented, as you can see. If you try to remove them with a microfiber towel, they're not going to go anywhere, which is good. You want something that's pigmented so that it doesn't just come off your eyes. I have to say the Dior formula, at least their quote regular formula, doesn't seem to have been changed in the last 3 years. They reformulated it about 3 years ago, 2.5. And it's been great since then. So I hope to goodness that they don't change it again, because I really like this formula and it's worked really well for me. And if they change it, I'm going to be highly annoyed. All right, so let's go in with, like I said, the only matte, which is this one here. And I'm going to use like a fluffier crease brush so that I'm going to distribute it a little bit wider and blow it out a little bit, because I don't want it to be concentrated. Also, I'm going to aim it a little bit higher so I have the brush like this instead of like this. When you're trying to figure out placement, just remember that, you know, you tend to go like this when you put on your eye makeup to give you the most real estate and see what you're doing. But remember, when you sink back down, you know, your eyes are going to go back into whatever place they are. So if you're trying to figure out where your crease is, try to keep your eye as natural as possible. It's hard because you look in the mirror and you're like, wait a minute, I have to open up. But you're going to want to keep your eye as natural as possible so that you can figure out where you want the shades to be. And if you want it to show up when you're, you know, talking to someone and your eye is open, then you need to make sure that you can see it. And can you see the difference? Just like, I mean, all I've done is put on one shade and the difference is how my eyes look. It does make a huge difference when you put on a shade that's deeper than your skin tone in the crease. It creates this illusion that that part of your face has like gone back. And so it can create a crease where you don't necessarily have one. So if you have, you know, deeper set eyes, that's not going to be something that you're really worried about. But if you have like a heavier lid, you know, you can go a little higher with your quote crease, and it creates an optical illusion that there's a crease there that doesn't necessarily exist. So yeah, this is a really pretty shade. Like I said, it has a little bit more red in it. Not a lot, but it definitely leans, you know, like a terracotta copper kind of shade. But it doesn't look as red on my skin, on my eyes, as it did on my hand. I think that's also because I was swatching it on my hand, and when I'm putting it on my eyes, I'm, you know, kind of spreading it out, making it look a little thinner. This one I'm going to like, I can tell you just right now, a lot more than I liked the Mitza or the Iconic Muse. They're both pretty palettes, but they're very pink, and I'm just not really my color story. Now we're going to take the shade that basically matches it, the shade here, but it's the satin, and I'm going to go in. This is with one of the Sonia G eye brushes. This is with the crease brush, and I am really liking these. These are the set that I just picked up. I've forgotten the name of it, that came out for the holidays, and I really like the brushes. I like the eye set. I have really not used the Mount Fuji brush. I need to. So that's the brush that I have not really tested out yet. I need to test it out next to like my jumbo bronzer and my, I forgot the name of it. What in the heck is the name of it? Niji Pro and a bunch of others, to see what I think. But the eye set I really like. There's a set by Kyoto that came out on Beautylish that I know is already sold out, that it has like the bunny on it. I might get that. Supposedly it's coming back in stock, so, and it's going to be at, I don't know if it's going to be at other retailers. I hear that it might be at other retailers, so I might pick that up. You know, I'm on my low buy now, guys, so as I said, I'm being much more judicious about what I pick up, so we'll see. All right, let's use the deeper, like, a little bit cooler brown that's in here. It's not cool. It's just that it's cooler than the rest of the shades to deepen this up a little bit. This is not a super deep palette. You know, there's not like a super dark brown or a dark green or black or any of those shades. So this is actually the deepest shade in here. I mean, it's a really nice shade. I'm just saying, if you're looking for something that has a ton of depth, something that's a much deeper shade, you're probably not going to get it with this one. But I think it would work on most folks. It's definitely pigmented, and you definitely have, you know, a difference of shades. It's not like it's going to blend into one another. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Those are the 3 shades so far. Now we're going to take the peach shade, which is the shade that I think is a satin, but it could be a matte. We're going to put that on the lid. I'm going to also use a little bit of it in the brow bone. Yeah, I think this is a satin. It's a really pretty peach. There's a pretty peach in the Iconic Muse as well. I don't know if they're the same. I'm going to have to pull that out and take a look. I'll do that in just a second so that you can see if it's the same peach. I don't think it is, but It's a really nice peach. And then I'm going to take the other Sonia D brush, the really tiny one, and just use that peach up here. It's a light peach. I mean, it's very light. So I think that would work for a lot of folks as like a highlighting shade or a brow bone shade, because it's light enough that, you know, it's gonna work to highlight an area, but it's not so light, it's not like white, that's gonna look stark. So yeah, it's a very pretty peach. All right, let me just blend this a little up here to get a little bit more of a seamless transition. There we go. And then I'm going to take the topper, which is the shade here. I tend to do toppers with my finger. I just feel like it's the easiest and best way. I do have brushes that will absolutely pick up, you know, the pigment and make it work, but I'm not opposed to using my finger for putting on makeup, so it's fine. And I don't feel like, again, my skin is so dry, I don't feel like I get oils in the pan or anything from my fingers. But if you do, which I totally understand, people don't like to do that. I'm also going to take that shade and use it on my inner corner. That I will use a brush for. That's a beautiful look. Is it revolutionary? Is it a brand new color scheme I've never seen before? No. But it's very pretty. It's very nice. All right, so I'm going to take the cooler, browner, satiny shade, use that as a liner for my lower lash line. I prefer a lot of the time to use a shadow, especially for my lower lash line, instead of a pencil, because I feel like it's a softer look and I feel that looks better on my skin. However, if you have like oily lids or oily skin, the problem with that is it can disappear. So I get that. So make sure you set it, or make sure that you're using a formula that doesn't move around on you. Because I've had people like, I tried to do what you did and it, you know, went everywhere. I get that. So don't, you know, it's not for everybody. But it is like a softer look. I'm going to use the Guerlain. This is the Brown Earth liner for the top line, because although, like I said, I have dry eyelids, this and the Chanel stay on my eyes all day without question. Like, just, they're immovable, which is really nice. I try to blend it into my eyelashes as much as possible, which is sometimes tough because my eyelashes are long, but it has more of like a seamless look. I don't generally do a pronounced line, like a thick line on my eyes. I don't know, I don't love that look on me. It's not like I, you know, have never done it, but it's not my favorite. Okay, so that is the final look. I'm gonna pull out the Iconic Muse to show you the peach. I'm gonna put some mascara on and we'll finish with final thoughts. All right, so before I put the mascara on, as you can see, this is Iconic Muse. This is the Bronze Sepia. Very, very different color stories, but the middle shades are very, very similar. So I'm just gonna see how different they are. I have destroyed the Dior design. Oh yeah, they're very different. Interesting. It's hard to tell when you just look at the... Okay, so this is not gonna be that easy to see, but I'll do my best. This is the Bronze Sepia. This is the Iconic Muse. And hopefully you can see that the Iconic Muse is much pinker, like almost pink lavender almost, and that the Bronze Sepia is much peachier in nature. It's interesting though, when I saw them in the pan, they don't look that different, but on the hand, they do. And I think on the eye, they do as well. I mean, that's just my take, but I do think they look different on the eye. All right, so I'm just gonna clean up the outside of my eye a little bit, put on mascara, and we'll come back. But I gotta say, guys, I really like this. I really like this quint. I think it's a beautiful quint. I do think it's a neutral, warm color story, so I don't think it's that different, but I do like it, and I think it would be something that most people could wear, and you know, it's it's one of those things that's like a good bet. Like if you were buying something for someone else and you didn't know what they liked, this would probably work on most people. All right, let me put on some mascara. Be right back. All right, mascara is on and look is finished. I have to say, guys, like I said, I really like this quint. I think it's beautiful. It's a very neutral, very warm quint. Bronze sepia, and the name fits. I don't know that I would say that you must go out and buy it. You probably have it. I'm just being honest. But I do really like it. And I think it's a beautiful look. I also think this can be deepened up pretty quickly. I did sort of a medium level look, you know, something that you could wear depending on, you know, your office setting, that you could wear to the office, but you could definitely wear for a night out. All you have to do, you know, to deepen it up is to take some of the deeper shades, mix them in, maybe even do something like a little bit more dramatic. You could take some of these shades and leave them out and decide to make something a little bit more cool. If you kind of used like this, this, and this, or these three, you know, you get the gist. You could use it to be really warm if you just sort of concentrated like this and leave the shade out. I mean, there's lots of ways to do it, but I think it's a beautiful quint and I absolutely will wear this. But again, I'm not saying it's in any way like unique. I need to go through my Dior's and figure out what it looks most like in Dior, because to be honest with you, it's not recalling an exact quint. I feel like it might look a little bit like Cruise, but I thought that, if I remember correctly, that one had a very deep copper in it, that this one doesn't really have. This one is more like levels of, there's not one that's like so much deeper and more intense than the others. So I don't know, I have to go back and look, but I would say the ones that come to mind are like Cruise, and there was one that came out, oh my goodness, last year I can't think of. Anyway, I'll go look through them. If there are ones you want to see it compared to, let me know. I'd say off the top of my head though, it does kind of resemble the Mario Ethereal Eyes, that kind of, you know, that kind of look. But this one's more pigmented, and the shimmer in here is like this topper. It's definitely just a topper. Like, it is not a shade that I think would have a lot of, I don't know, like oomph. It's pretty, but it's like, you can see it's just like a copper, it's a champagne-y kind of gold shade. And it doesn't have a ton of pigment. It's just, I mean, it looks great on top of the eye, but see it? It's pretty. It's very pretty, but it's not like, you know. I want to see if I can, please hold. Let me see if I can make it look like a stronger champagne using a Kolinsky brush here. Yeah, I mean, as much as you could with the shade, right? You can see though, I'll show you in a second, when I close my eyes, you can get more out of it if you have like a brush like this that really emphasizes like the pigment in a shade. It really is beautiful, beautiful quint. Guys, I really enjoy this. This will definitely be one of the ones that I consider taking on trips. And for me, like a lot of times when I'm traveling, it's for work. So this is very work appropriate because it's neutral, but also because I think it would go with a lot, which is helpful. Like I have a red lip on, which I don't usually wear. And I think it goes fine with this red lip, which is definitely a cool toned red lip. But I also think it would work with a very warm tone lip. I'm wearing black, obviously, but I think this would go with pretty much any shade you wore. So it's one of those eyeshadow palettes that's, you know, yes, ubiquitous and everywhere, but also there's a reason. There's a reason that everybody has one. It's because most people can wear it, and it's easy to use. So again, I really like it. Bronze Sepia comes out with, my understanding is the capsule collection with the blush. I'm assuming it's limited edition. Not absolutely sure about that one. And once I know more about the blush, I'll let you all know. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.